Hi, this is how anime studios choose what anime is made. Let's go! Basically, the manga publisher will find sponsors to sit and form a production committee for the anime, who will then find an animation producer tied to some animation studio like Pierrot, Toei Animation, Ufotable, etc. Bakuman, the anime, goes over the general process well, but ultimately it's got a lot to do with what anime is most popular. Even if it's not popular, the anime is used to sell more of the manga or light novel via reaching audiences who've not yet been exposed to the manga. To understand this process, it's important to understand how the film industry in Japan works, which is different for the US and European markets. The production community is picking manga or light novels to turn into anime multiple seasons in advance, which is why you start seeing promotion for the chosen anime super early on, once they've done enough planning and design to get a key visual done. Planning committee then negotiates with OG right holders, aka the manga artists, and advertises to fund the project. Some legal work needs to get done to make the production committee consisting of all these people officiated, and then the committee will be able to use their funding to get the ball rolling. The story is written to align with the established schedule and provided funding for the anime. They are only given so many episodes that they need to compress whatever part of the manga they want to cover into whatever number of episodes they have. If they are given more funding for another season, they'll go from there. When characters are being designed, the manga artists may or may not be giving input into the design of the character. Character motion design is strong. The animation studio will follow orders from said production committee rather than the author, which has created conflict before with said manga artists. Getting the contract to make the anime alone can take half a year just to work out all the contract details. Also, there is an outside counsel consultant to decide what is appropriate to show at whatever TV time slot is being given to the animation studio and what is not, which you can blame for the crazy censorship decisions like in Tokyo Revengers. Sponsored businesses are the ones that decide what those limits are, depending on what they are okay with the product they are advertising being associated with. The only way the manga author can have more say in the anime production is if they invest financially in the animation production. The actual money anime makes comes from DVD and merchandise sales the anime provides. For choosing a manga to be animated to begin with, it's preferred that it has a strong presence of fan base to have the reassurance that you'd have a market for buying DVDs and merchandise, which makes me wonder how making anime available on legal sites like Crunchyroll and letting people watch it there impacts their perception on sales, since it's likely make it harder to sell DVDs. They do put anime on TV, and people still do buy the DVDs then, so the reputation of mangaka can also cause a huge push to make a manga an anime. Rumiko Takahashi, for example, could probably get any manga she made animated just because of how profitable her past work was. The whole process of finding an animation studio, connections, producers, and whatnot requires having good connections or networking capabilities. Whether an anime can even become a toy line needs to be considered. You gotta consider if your target audience will be able to afford your merch. Further questions that must be asked include: will the manga arcs / structure translate well into anime? Does the manga have controversy already that could impact its public perception? Can't be getting it canceled on Twitter now. What also will be considered is what anime will be airing in the same season you plan to air this anime, and how any potential competition might impact its views. Also, how have people reacted in the past to similar anime? Would they be receptive to another anime of that same nature based on past reception? Also, is there already a lot of content of this series via Google search compared to similar properties that did become one-season anime already? You should limit your search here to one-season anime, so you're not comparing the number of Koi no Katachi search results to the like of Naruto. These are guidelines that many other industries use to judge properties that they're about to release. For getting an anime greenlit, if you don't have strong connections, you likely need a script for the whole first season, character illustration and bios, action scenes drawn out if applicable, promotional posters, and overviews of future seasons if applicable. Your substance needs to look professional and be unique. If you want to keep the rights to your manga, ideally you want to only share segments with potential investors, but have full script and multiple digital backups ready of the full season. There's no set limit on how much content one must have in order to get an adaptation. Once it becomes an anime, the manga publisher would cover the cost of the anime airing on some TV channel. The production company, e.g. Aniplex, gathers staff, sponsors, and looks at advertisement and merchandise. Meanwhile, how much of the manga or light novel gets adapted really varies from properties. You could have one chapter of a manga, and then the anime creates an almost completely anime original progression of events. However long your manga is, it should be in the top 10 in popularity polls in the magazine it's premiering in. Your manga could be so popular, animation studios might send requests to the manga publisher to get the anime made. In that case, mangakas may get more say in the preferences of things like voice actors. The amount of staff put into the anime depends on how much money is invested in the project. However successful your anime becomes, the mangaka gets a share of whatever profit it generates via sales of merchandise and manga. Adapting manga also benefits anime studios when making anime, as they already have a very well developed storyboard via the manga and basis for character design to roll with to make a successful anime. If the manga is successful. Animation studios making successful anime are what gets it lots of sponsors. Good bets for successful hits are shonen and shoujo manga, made for people of all ages. As for continuing anime to another season, that depends on the number of BD sales the first season makes. Mismanagement in general can cause an anime to flop though, and especially in season 1. Super popular manga can get offers from multiple studios, so the publisher mangaka or mangaka would be able to find a studio who will be most likely to make their particular manga a successful anime. With studios choosing manga, on the other hand, as a small magazine's top seller is more likely to get an anime adaptation than a manga doing okay in a big magazine. Since the smaller anime would have the money to invest in their bestseller, while bigger magazines like Shonen Jump would need to split their funds more, making more of their works into anime. Some of these smaller magazines aim to get anime made every other season because they're able to pull that off. For another great representation of the process of an anime getting made, watch Shirobako. One thing that may not have been mentioned is part of the production committee is a music label and a television network probably just there to censor the shit out of your manga. The publisher will probably just tell you no flat out as far as making a manga to an anime if the manga is done, because all the manga is already out. You probably won't get a boost in sales meaningful enough to warrant an anime at that point. If the mangaka is looking at getting another anime made, if they have the money like Rumiko Takahashi, they could choose the anime studio that makes their anime directly. On the other side, animation directors like Masaki Yuasa or the president of PA Works could target anime they like to have a passion project made from them. See Eizouken, Eccentric Family, etc. For those projects, a lot of process previously discussed gets thrown out the window. Then you have anime like Banana Fish, which are adopted as a sort of celebration of a mangaka's anniversary. With Banana Fish, they were waiting particularly for a time when TV would be more receptive of a show with gay men in it. You also have older anime where an adaptation would be difficult, as it'd be hard to replicate with animation technology at the time. As for the censorship hurdle, some anime might face OVAs. Some animes might get OVAs to skip the censorship system, so has worked as a solution. Yes, to more questionable anime for TV at least. For any given anime, the animation studio gets half the decided budget. The rest goes to other production needs. This is what happens when you write a script the first thing in the morning. You'd need 50 million yen to play a 52 episode anime across 5 to 7 studios on a late night slot. When you're watching an anime, you may wonder why the anime characters have a simpler design than the manga, and you might have already seen. It's because it makes the animations easier and more possible. Character designs will still work with animators to ensure the animation matches with the character design. That's how a manga is chosen to become an anime. Sources are in the description. Like and subscribe if you like this. Thank you so much for watching. Please feel free to put any recommendations for content you want to see or ways you'd like me to improve my videos in the comments down below. Thank you and have a great day.